3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to another episode of Questlog. It's a weekly show about video games old and new. My name is Tyler Everett and this is episode 82. Joining me as always, my good friend, my confidant, my compatriot, Brian Maxwell.
Smash those words together.
Just gonna push them all together into one. Compantradant. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Welcome. Good to see you, Brian.
It's good to see you, Tyler.
And likewise, the Invincible, the Unscrupulous,
the unsinkable Luke Phillips.
The unsinkable Luke Phillips. How's it going, man?
I'm great.
I used up all my good descriptive words on Brian, and then I was like, shit, I gotta give Luke some good words too. I just blanked on them all.
Yeah, you didn't.
I just really shit the bed there. Boy.
As long as you know it.
2 minutes into the show, just already sinking it. Hey, it's good to see you too, Luke. How about that?
It's fantastical to be here.
It's been a rainy weekend, man. What have you been up to?
I ended up going camping last night.
Yeah?
Which is not something you typically do in the rain, but first time getting out this year, so it was pretty good.
Like, it's like finally summer now, and it seems to have really cooled off around here. And it's
it sure wasn't the beginning of the week.
No. Like it went from blazing hot to like, oh, now it's summer. Let's just cool it down. Cool it down a couple notches.
Yeah, in the span of like 8 hours, it went from 95 degrees to 65 and rainy.
Yeah. So did you stay dry?
Yeah, it was fine.
Got like a rainfly thing for your mock?
I had a rainfly for my hammock, and my parents were there with their trailer, so there was an awning, and it was all great.
Rainfly.
Well,
yo.
It's Michigan, if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. Am I right? Am I right or am I right?
That is a pretty sick hot take there, Brian.
Lols.
Wow.
Michigan and most other states.
I'm going to go post that on Facebook. I'll be right back.
Okay, while you do that, let's get into what we've been playing. Oh man, it's what we've been playing. Hey Brian, what have you been playing this week?
I've been doing some VR things.
Some VR things?
Because the real world's bad, so
I can confirm.
Gonna get into some pretend worlds.
All right.
I traded in some PS3 games at the old GameStop for some more credit. I got to do that while they're still an entity.
Yeah, I don't think that made it into our news. I don't think that made it into our news segment, but I hear they're looking for a buyer.
Yeah,
that's not a great sign.
Yeah, it's not really surprising. A store solely dedicated to retail video games and Funko Pops.
You can't forget Funko Pops. Yeah,
those trash things.
I can't remember if I mentioned it on the show or not, but I overheard when Krang went to pre-order. He was on the phone with me when he went to pre-order. I think it was God of War, and the guy at the counter at GameStop was like, "I'm gonna level with you, man. We're trying to hit this goal. We need to sell so many accessories and merchandise and like collectibles with this shit. So like, if you could just pick up one of those things, it would help us reach that goal. It would be awesome." I was like, that's desperation. You're just flat out begging.
That's probably the best sales pitch to take with me. Just be like, look, this is just fucking buy something, please. I know, I hate it too. Just would you?
Isn't there a merchant in a video game that just says buy something, will you? Isn't it from Zelda? It's like, it's one of the cave guys that just says buy something, will
buy something, will you? Yep,
that's what it feels like.
It's a secret to everybody.
Just buy something so my boss leaves me alone.
Yeah, they're gonna be real dicks about this, so just pick something up. It could be anything. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, they had a good deal at the old GameStop, huh? It was like, didn't you wind up getting like 80% extra trading credit or something like that?
Yeah, I did pretty good. So got some more VR games.
It seems like a a good investment so far. You've gotten a lot of use out of that thing.
Yeah, I feel like I need to lead off with Shooty Fruity.
Shooty Fruity, okay.
Yeah.
Shooty Fruity, contender
That's,
for best name of the year.
yeah, it's a good name. It's real dumb.
Strong name. Oh, here we go. Let's get Shooty Fruity up here.
It's a VR shooting gallery, essentially.
All right.
You're a cashier in a grocery store, and the fruits come to life and attack you, and you have guns everywhere, and you just shoot the fuck out of them while you're still trying to scan goods.
The guns just kind of come over on a magnetic conveyor belt thing in front of you. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's great. Like you unlock new guns and weapons.
This sounds like the most American thing ever.
Yeah. Like I got hand grenades. Got some semi-automatic weaponry. It's real good.
Wow. All right. That's awesome.
Yeah. The shooting's fun. It's awesome.
Wow. So
it's got a good sense of humor. Like there's the announcer over the PA, reminds me of the lady in Hot Fuzz. The lady who works at the supermarket who's like,
yeah.
Mr. Skinner to the manager's office, please.
Yep.
Mr. Skinner.
Manager's office.
Mm-hmm.
Real good.
Yeah, Shooty Fruity's great.
So, how much time did you spend in Shooty Fruity?
Oh, a couple of hours.
Yeah.
There seems to be quite a lot of weapons to unlock. There are some different stages too, where you've got like trays that come down and you're putting, I don't know, food cubes on the trays and trying to match up the food to the trays. And like the more stuff you scan, the more new weapons you get added to your arsenal during that stage.
Gotcha.
Don't let the pink shotguns go by.
No.
This is cool. Yep. So you don't worry about reloading. You just grab a new gun off the belt.
Yep.
Keep going.
Yep. You got a hand grenade where you got to pull the pin out. And if your hands are full, you can pull the pin out with your teeth.
So how does that work? You hold it up to your face and it just does it automatically?
Yep.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. Did you let the kids play this one?
Levi tried it. It gets hectic pretty quick. It can get out of hand pretty quick. It gets stressful.
Gotcha. Yeah. I can see that. The food's starting to just pile up and you're like, oh god, just scan this shit.
Yeah. This is an early stage, but in the later stages I think it starts getting a little more hectic.
That's cool. How much did Shooty Fruity run you?
I think it's $20.
Okay. That's pretty good for...
Seems to be worth so far. Yeah.
Like, these things are pretty replayable. Like, this is just a thing that you might throw on and just go, hey, check this out.
Yep. I'm just going to turn my brain off and have some fun.
Shoot some fruit.
Yeah, it's a good little time waster for a few minutes.
That's cool, man.
Yep. Cool. And the other VR game I've got for you this week is on the other end of the spectrum all the way.
Okay.
It's called Tethered.
Okay. Let's see.
Tethered seems to be like a kind of a simple real-time strategy / God game.
Okay.
Which there was a demo of it. There are a lot of demos on the PSN store, thankfully, because a lot of this stuff.
Finding them.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be the best arranged setup they've got there.
I'm borrowing Kring's PS4 and his PSVR, and yeah, like I think there should be just like a demos section. Like that would be cool because I'd probably download most of them. But
it's hard for me to advise you because I do all that stuff on the website. So I'm signed in on the website, so it's like I buy something on the site, and then it's like, okay, do you want to install to your PS3? It's like, yep, go for it, or your PS4.
Right.
It just kind of does that all from my computer.
Yeah, that gets a little complicated when I'm using a borrowed system. I don't have his logins or anything, so yeah. Well, this looks neat though. Kind of what was that one game? The Lionhead Studios game?
Black and white. Yep.
Yeah.
Without the big animal monster that pooped in the fields. And yes, you are the giant gorilla.
Nice.
Yeah, so you got these little mans walk around an island for you, and you tether them to various resources. Like if you want them to harvest lumber, I don't know, like you use your head to act as the pointer. So like if you look at something, you've got a little dot, in your field of view.
Mm-hmm.
So like you look at the thing you want to highlight, you hold X, and then you look at the thing you want to tether it to.
Gotcha. Huh.
So you assign them tasks. There's weather that comes in, like you can like tether the sun to the fields to make the food grow. These little shits come out at night and try to kill your mans and eat your stuff.
Do you get to smite them?
You can combine different weather types. Like you can make lightning and you can blast them with lightning clouds, which is pretty satisfying.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If you build a barracks, you can have some of your mans become warriors.
Nice.
Which seems pretty all right. It's all the way the opposite of Shooty Fruity. Like it's not the laid back, I'm just gonna, chill out in VR. Like it's gorgeous, but there's a lot going on. Yeah, it can get out of hand pretty quickly because everyone's got to have enough food to eat. If you want to build a barracks, you need, 10 wood and 10 stone, and you got to make sure you harvest that. They fucking, like, they jump off a cliff, like they get sad, and if they get too sad, they just walk off to the edge and just hop off the edge of the island.
Oh no.
I was not fully prepared for that. Yeah, like if they don't eat enough, like if they don't have enough food, or if they just don't have a task for long enough, they're just like, all right, you know what, I'm done here.
I have no purpose.
Yep.
There's no meaning.
What is my purpose?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just huck themselves into oblivion. Nice. Okay.
So yeah, I've only played a couple of stages. It seems like it's pretty simple for an RTS.
Right.
But it being in VR is a big part of the draw.
It's kind of gotta be if you're gonna be in VR.
Yeah. I'm not playing StarCraft in VR.
Are we watching your gameplay here, or is this
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so like the way it handles the UI is interesting because, like I said, like where you look is where your pointer is.
Yeah.
And if you like look at a cloud and press X, then you change to that, like that perspective.
Gotcha.
So that's how you kind of look at different areas of the island.
Oh, gotcha. That's how you kind of teleport
Mm-hmm.
around. Gotcha.
Yep.
Cool. Good stuff, man.
So yeah, that's cool. Got my hands full.
Tethered. Get your tether on. Can you like catch the little people that jump off and like save them, or are they just done?
I think they're just
There's
done.
Nothing
like,
for it. You just gotta let them live their life.
You can combine the different weather types, and you can make a rainbow.
Okay.
If you hit them with a rainbow, they're like, "Oh, you know what? Maybe I won't jump off the cliff today."
Not today. Not today. Weird girl in the sky. Not today.
I had one rainbow and like 3 jumpers. I ended up restarting that stage because it's an RTS, so things can get out of hand, and it's like, okay, I need to go back 15 minutes ago and do something different then.
Fix this.
Yep. It's all gone pear-shaped.
Oh man, that's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a demo for it.
Maybe checking that out then.
Give it a whirl.
Pretty neat. Anything else strike you this week, Brian?
New DLC for The Darkest Dungeon.
I hear you're a fan of that one. That Darkest Dungeon.
Darkest Dungeon? It's all right.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's all right.
You got a few hours into it, right?
Just a couple. Yeah.
Couple hundred, yeah. Yeah, so this is called The Color of Madness.
Which is cyan, apparently.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Drawing its inspiration from the Lovecraft novel. Oh God, what is it? The Color and the Shapes of Foo Fighters album. I can't remember.
H.P. Lovecraft, Foo Fighters,
same
it's
thing.
basically the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one seems kind of slight as a DLC pack. I was surprised it was only $5. It adds a new area, Color Out of Space. That's it.
Nailed it.
So it adds a new area, which is like this mill where like a meteor is landed and all kinds of shit's all irradiated and cosmic
Horror.
misery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fought the Miller. He done killed me.
Yeah.
So
Man.
it's kind of like an endless. Well, I'll use endless in air quotes, but like you have to defeat waves of enemies, one after another without rest or anything.
Gotcha. It's almost like horde mode kind of thing for.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't have as many missions as all the other locations, though. All the other locations are like at any given time, there's usually like 3 different quests you can take at varying levels.
Mm-hmm.
Like at this new location, I did the first one, and then the next quest available was for level 3, like a level 3 party. So it was like, all right, I guess I'll do, 10 other missions, and then I'll come back to this later when some of my people are strong enough.
Gotcha.
So yeah, my second go through, then I ended up fighting the boss, and he took me down.
Is it
So, yeah,
is
challenging.
Is there a new character class with this one?
No, that kind of bummed me out. I like new classes a lot, but this is the one game where I'm indulging in mods. I've got 5 or 6, modded classes in there.
Is that one on the far left there a modded one?
Yep, that's the druid.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever seen.
He's got the same posture as the plague doctor right in front of him.
Yeah, that's cool. It's funny. I actually looked into Darkest Dungeon mods one day because I was like, I'm just curious how they do this, like all the different animations and stuff. And there's actually like a specific program that you have to get that allows, like, they basically use, it's almost like a paper doll, and you can basically apply these skins to that doll, and all the animations and stuff are all moved through it. It's pretty neat. But yeah, I know that's why they have to copy one of the other characters, because it's like you can't like recreate those. You'd have to do all those animations yourself.
Right, and it's not always obvious until I have them maybe standing next to the one that they're copied from. It's like the Ronin, I was like, that's awesome. That's probably my favorite one, and I didn't realize it was a copy of the Hellion until I had him next to the Hellion in the party, and it's like, yep, they're kind of swaying in the same exact rhythm. And
it's cool. Yeah, I would love to see these. I just love the look of all the zombified crystal glowy dudes. I think the whole charcoal and that bright greenish blue looks really cool.
It stands out from the rest of the areas. Each area's got its own kind of distinct feel.
Yeah, it's really
so.
Really
Yep, cool, I will take more Darkest Dungeon any time, any form they want to give it to me.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know if this hit all platforms? Like, I didn't a Switch version recently come out?
Not Darkest Dungeons on all platforms. Yeah. I don't think this DLC has yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, good stuff. That looks pretty cool, man. Anything to get you back in there for a couple hours, huh?
Couple, yeah.
Cool.
The last thing I've got this week is a game called Old Man's Journey.
You said this is one that I gotta check out.
I think you'd appreciate it. It's one of those little indie games. It's like a single sitting game, probably maybe 2-3 hours.
Okay.
It's very simple gameplay wise. It's mostly walking around. The puzzles involve like dragging the landscape up and down. Like you can make the hills taller or shorter. So like most of the stages have like a vertical element to them. It's very simple that way.
It looks like a pop-up book or something. Is kind of
it's gorgeous. Like the visuals are great.
Cool.
All the story is just told through flashbacks. Like there's no dialogue in it at all. There are various points in the game where he'll like stop at a bench and he'll sit and he'll like remember something from his past. So at the beginning of the game, he gets a letter and then he grabs his shit and leaves. It reminds me of Bilbo Baggins. Just like got my backpack and my walking stick and
I'm out. Head out for an adventure.
Yeah, so like he sees this couple sitting on top of a bridge, and it like flashes back to him and his girlfriend, way back when, meeting for the first time, and it kind of goes through them getting married and having a child, and gets your feels a little bit.
See that? Can see that. Huh.
But yeah, like this scene I've got captured doesn't do the visuals justice. There are a lot of very like bright and colorful areas too, and it's a stunning game.
I dig the look of it. It looks neat. How you're kind of lining up the different terraforming the land to get him from one side of the screen to the other. That's pretty cool. Huh.
Yep, it's different that way. I haven't played anything that does that before, really.
Yeah, it's all playing with perspective and stuff. That's
Yep. And it can be had cheaply, I think, especially now during the Steam sale. So something worth giving a look if you like these little indie artsy games.
I've been known to like a few of those. So.
Yeah, I think you'd appreciate it.
Cool. Old Man's Journey.
Old Man's Journey.
Get it on the Steams.
I think it's on the Switch too.
Oh, cool. That seems like a good Switch game, actually. I wonder if the touchscreen stuff works on there. Huh.
I would think so. I'd think it'd be more natural to tap the screen than, move a pointer with an analog stick.
Huh. Into that. Cool, man. Hey, Luke.
Hey.
What you been playing, man? What you been up to?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been a week since I've actually had time to play Sea of Thieves even.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot to comment there, but I did spend some time being a bug this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to play some Hollow Knight again, and that game is pretty fantastic.
You've got a little bit of a love-hate thing going on lately. You're just like, well, I rage quit again today. It's good, right?
It does cause me to rage quit, but I remember we had a topic a while back, a discussion topic that was like, what's one game that you just rage quit and then you go right back to or something like that? And this is one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'll go through and just get frustrated and be like, whatever, okay, I'm done with this. 15 minutes later, all right, let's go back into it.
This was one where I would lose 15 times to the same boss, then come back the next day and just knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did give it some high praise earlier this week. I believe I said if anyone was ever going to make a Super Metroid remake or another 2D Metroid game, that it needs to be Team Cherry, because they have nailed the 2D platformer.
Yeah, I was super impressed with how just how well it runs on the Switch too. Like it's just gorgeous, and
but that was the whole reason for the delay, was trying to get it to run properly on the Switch. They wanted 60 frames per second, and they nailed it. It's so smooth. I mean, yeah, it's a 2D game, so it should be that big of a deal, but for what it is, they've just perfected it.
Yeah. Yep, and the combat and everything does feel really, really good. It was funny because you were talking about having some trouble with I think it's the Soul Master boss.
Soul Master.
And I was like, I'm trying to think of well, can I give him any tips or anything? And I don't think there is. I think it's just after a certain point, the game does a really good job of teaching you, I don't know, just making you get better. There's certain things, you'll come across certain bosses, and it's that thing where you'll go against them 20 times or whatever, and eventually you get it, and then after that your skills kind of just keep building on top of each other. Because I'm going back through. I did the same thing. Soul Master kicked the shit out of me the very first time that I played this game. And when I rolled back in there after putting however many hours in, I one-shot him this time. When I haven't played the game in a year, and I was able to just the muscle memory's all still there for this game. So you'll get there. It's definitely worth putting the time into. Say that.
Yeah, I think the only frustration I really have, and more to do with just how a modern game feels nowadays, is put a save point next to a boss, so I'm not running through half the map again.
Oh man, so I can give you a heads up. There's an area of the game that gave me a ton of trouble, and it was the Crystal Peak area. And you'll know it when you get there because there's just pink crystal shit everywhere. And there's like um there's not a stag station anywhere near it. So it's
Yep.
when you die there, it's so fucking frustrating. And like the first thing I did when I got there was find the benches. Like I think there's 2 in that area, and I just like marched my little ass right over to where those were and made sure that I was gonna at least respawn somewhat close. Because
Is that the one with the bugs that walk like around the blocks, like in the old Metroid games, and like shoot lasers?
Yep.
Oh, that's lovely.
God, the music's so good in that area.
It is. It's very, very good.
I think it's not even so much the distance; it's that all the enemies respawn in that area, and the ones leading up to the Soul Master are little mini versions of the Soul Master. So each one of them will kick your ass still.
Yeah, they teleport.
Yeah, those guys are bastards.
Yeah, and you can't like run past them because they'll just teleport to exactly where you're jumping and do damage anyway. So you have to take your time and slowly whittle down each one, then move on.
Yep.
Then you only got half the little orb to fill up with the soul until you get your body back. So
yeah, there's a definite like, okay, palms are getting sweaty. Like it's game time now.
Knees weak.
That too, mom spaghetti. But yeah, you get when you're going back to retrieve your little ghost, it's hectic, especially in one of those. Like if you die, it's usually for a good reason. Like it's usually because it's a pretty good challenge there, and you know, making like you were saying, even making your way back up to the boss is like treacherous. So yeah, it's good.
The music in the Soul Sanctum though is so good.
Like organ music.
Yeah, it's organ music.
The cool thing in the City of Tears, like that theme plays throughout that whole area, and there's 3 kind of big areas within the City of Tears. Like the first one you go into is like the main area, and you kind of get a feel for that theme. And then there's the Soul Sanctum, which like it's the same music, but it changes into like a cathedral arrangement, and you hear the organ, and you hear like, you know, it gets kind of like amped up. And then there's like I want to say like a high society, like rich area too, and the music is pretty much the same but a little bit different over there too, and it's just really cool the way they blend those all together to kind of tell the story.
Yeah, with the rain there.
Yeah,
love the City of Tears.
It's very, very good. But yeah, so I've been playing quite a bit of Hollow Knight this week too. I see you on there, Luke. Every once in a while it tells me, it's like, oh, Luke's online. He's playing some Hollow Knight. I'm like, me too, brother.
How was it for like a replay on Switch?
So good.
Because you play a lot of it on PC.
Yep, and I'm playing a lot of it on Switch too. Like I've been playing it every day. And I just get sucked right back into it. It's such a good game to explore because the map is just huge. Like it's such a big game.
Yeah, I did the mistake of looking up a full map earlier. It's like, oh,
yeah,
there's a metric ton of stuff that I have not, one, that I have not seen yet, and 2, have just apparently completely missed.
Honestly, I want to say you can get through this game only seeing about a third of it. I think you can finish a playthrough at about 33%.
There's a lot of optional areas, yeah.
Ton of optional stuff. Like, I got an upgrade for one of my abilities that I don't think I got in my last playthrough. I don't think I ever found the way to the place because I got there and I was like, whoa, I don't remember this at all. I think this is new. And it was an upgrade for my, like, your fireball spell, basically. You shoot the soul thing out. Yep. I got an upgrade for that in the City of Tears, and I don't remember picking that up before. So, yeah, it's... I don't even know how to describe it. Like I'm still totally in love with this game, and a second
hearing the map makers, like hearing the map makers, like humming in like in a new area. You know, it's just like I'm lost. I don't have a bench. I don't know how to get back here, and you hear that little hum, and It's good.
Yeah, it's like the first thing you do in a new area is just try to find the humming.
Yeah, you start seeing his little his pages that
His
he's
notes.
his
Yep.
notes or whatever that he's left behind. Yeah, good feeling. Yep. So not gonna stop anytime soon. I'm pretty sure I'm going to. I never finished the Grim Troop DLC on my PC playthrough. I intentionally stopped because I didn't want to finish it. I wanted to have something to look forward to on the Switch, and I started going through that again on this playthrough. So yeah, I'm planning on 100%ing and more this thing on my Switch for sure.
You got 118% it or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like you can. Yeah, it's 109 or something. I can't remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I will. I'm well on my way there too. Like that's the cool thing with these games, is Metroidvania style games like this. Like you're just free to go wherever. Like you can pick up an ability. They're not necessarily tied behind bosses and stuff. So if you make it to a new area and you want to go grab the ability and then zoom on out of there and go somewhere else, you can keep doing that for quite a while before it makes you actually go fight, part of the main storyline. And that's why I think I've been playing, since you got it, Luke, we all got it at the same time, but I've done a ton of just exploring around and like unlocking new areas and going and grabbing the upgrades and stuff. So
yeah, I think that area is not explored. My issue right now is I've like been going at it almost in a linear fashion. Like, okay, I did this area, I'm on to the next area, then the next area. So today I went through and I broke it up a little bit, and I went to the very, very start of the game and found a whole brand new area that was actually like pre where you start.
Yeah.
By climbing up an area.
Off to the left.
Yeah, I went left instead of right. And yeah, it was a whole brand new area never seen before, and found a few more items and went back through the green path to see what was there, and it didn't have a power up to go through acid water, so I couldn't go through there. But
when it comes time, I can be your Wikipedia, Luke. I just got the acid water upgrade today.
Nice. So yeah, I'm kind of gonna go back and see, okay, what's opened up in some of the previous areas, and maybe get a few upgrades and go back to Soul Master.
It's a good idea. Yeah, that's one cool thing too, is like this game. I think part of playing games like this kind of builds you into that idea of like, well, I got to beat this boss before I can really do much else. And that's kind of not the case here. Like you can do quite a bit more without necessarily getting the thing that boss has. So yeah, you can definitely hunt down more mask shards so you have more life. Look for vessel pieces to get more soul juice containers. Yeah,
I think I'm heading down to the sewers under the City of Tears here.
Yeah, the sewers are second least favorite area of the game. Not because it's bad or anything. Deep Nest is the actual worst place.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sewers are no bueno either. These things called shit, what are they called? They're like
fucking screamers,
fluke worms or fluke marms or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but they're these little fleshy dildo looking things that just you cut them in half and they fall on the ground looking like they're dead, and then half of it reanimates and just starts screaming and flying at you, and then the asshole end of it reanimates and comes like shambling over to you. It's bad news. It's real bad news. So yeah,
look forward to that.
Look forward to that in the sewers.
Great.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
But yeah, and then Deep Nest is just a nightmare area full of writhing, horrid spiders and bugs, and yeah, it's no good.
Yeah, it was real cool finding out how to get to City of Tears.
Yeah.
There was the bridge that was completely out, and I'm like, oh, like there's no way I can make that jump or anything. Like I have no idea how I'm gonna get over there.
Mm-hmm.
Then I finally unlocked the wall jump ability.
The Mantis Claw,
Yep.
So I've got wall jump and the dash ability, and all of a sudden I look at it and it's like, oh, this all makes complete sense now. I can wall climb up to there, and then do a dash, and the wall climb back and forth, and there's this whole pretty much jumping puzzle that you do to get across. And it's like, oh, okay, that makes complete sense now.
I love how mobile you are in this game. You get the double jump and the air dash. You can get yourself out of a lot of rough situations.
They really give you like all the greatest hits from all of these types of games. Like the wall jumping and dash and the air dash is straight out of Mega Man X. Like it's dead on the same exact thing. The way that you can kind of like pogo on top of people is definitely the the Scrooge McDuck kind of thing, sort of. Like you're comboing off of dudes, and like the knockback and stuff from your sword just has this really good feel. I don't know, it's
a good game.
There's a reason IGN just gave it a 9.4 or something like that. They reviewed the Switch release and it did very, very well. So, and to agree. Anyway,
it's funny. Wall jumping in Super Metroid is almost like an advanced maneuver that you learn to do, just because it's precise. So, like timing is like you basically have like a third of a second to do like a 2-button combination to do a wall jump, and you'll have to do it like 8 times in a row to get to certain areas.
I haven't played that game in like 20 years, and I remember there being a long shaft you had to jump up and time every one of those jumps. I remember that taking me a very long time.
Yeah, it's awful. So when I got it in this game, I was like, oh my god, like this is so much better. Like this is how wall jumping should feel.
Yep, and it's the same thing in Mega Man X. Like he does the same thing where he'll like slide down the wall.
Yeah. And
you can do, dashes and stuff off of that. Like it feels exactly the same to me. And yeah, it's just
this is a good boss fight.
Yeah.
This one's tough.
Yep.
These things are so unpredictable. Yep.
Yeah, anytime you have to track like multiple things on screens.
I fought the dung beetle today, Brian, and it made me so damn happy. It's a cool boss fight you'll get to look forward to there, Luke.
Yeah, the hectic fights in the game where like your muscle memory takes over and you're barely aware of how you're doing the things you're doing.
Yep. That was another one where like I remember fighting the dung beetle like I don't even know how many times. It was a good dozen, I think, and I rolled in there today and one-shot him again. It's just like, yes!
Yeah, just walked in there and shut the door behind you.
Yeah, you're in here with me now, bud. That's a cool feeling.
Nice.
Hey, I played some games too this week.
No one cares.
I'm going to start by talking about the VR stuff that I've been doing. So I have Kring's little PSVR around here too, and I got completely lost in the Rick and Morty virtual reality game. Let me see if I can find it here where to put it. It's very similar to other things such as this. What's the?
I've been told it's like Job Simulator with a Rick and Morty theme.
Yep, I think that's probably accurate. I played through the whole thing. It was probably a good 2 hours, I want to say. There are some difficult like puzzles that you have to solve in it, but not a lot. It's basically like Rick breaks some shit and then throws it in front of you and says like, I don't know, figure it out. You're playing as a clone of Morty, but just his head and hands. You do not any other bits, so that's part of it. It's real good. Like if you are a Rick and Morty fan at all, find a way to play this because it's very cool being able to hang out in the Smith garage and get up.
Are there a lot of nods to moments in the show? I assume
just tons. Yeah. There's like I don't want to see. That's the thing is like I feel like a lot of it would be spoilers, but you find a cartridge for Troy there. It's a Roy knockoff from another planet. And there is a way to play that. Like you have to figure it out. Rick has a cool device on his desk that allows you to fabricate things. So you take 2 different items, set them on this pod, and then hit combine, and it generates a thing based on those 2. So a lot of times it'll just take the material of one and apply it to the other. So like I wanted to make a copy of mace that you can find on his shelf. And so I put like this crystal thing down, and then the mace, and now I have a crystal mace. There's some other ones that are you can combine it with an apple, and you get like just an apple on the end of a stick. I think you can whack stuff with it. The Meeseeks box is neat. Rick has modified it so it just makes a little Meeseeks ball, and wherever you throw it, it generates a copy of you that'll do everything that you do. So there's some puzzles where you have to like have the Meeseeks pick something up and then hand it to yourself, and so you're sticking your hand out and then trying to grab it with your other hand and get it back. It's pretty clever. But there's like they mix a lot of stuff in there. There's a shooting gallery thing where you get the arm cannons that are seen in the Purge episode, and you get to use those on some aliens. That's pretty fun. Yeah.
How's the throwing stuff? How does that feel?
Throwing stuff feels so good.
Yeah.
Like I would sit in one spot just picking stuff up and hucking it straight out the window, just smash the window, or throw it into the street and try to hit cars. Like
Job Simulator does that real good too, because not every VR game has that down.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's pretty good. Like there was things where I would throw them up in the air and then catch them again and throw them and do shit like that. Like it's pretty accurate. The camera seemed to have a hard time picking up the left glowy controller though. Every once in a while I'd just watch my hand go like just fly off into the distance, and then I'd have to like shake it back and get it to notice it again.
The tracking's, I think that's the weak part of the PSVR. It's worse when you're very tall.
I bet.
Like having to like scale it to my height can be difficult. Sometimes if something's down low, I have to reach down low to grab it. It loses me because I'm out of the camera's view.
Yep. This does a thing where it like it floats the thing up if it notices you doing that, or if it tries to detect that's happening. It'll just kind of like the item will just kind of like start to hover, and then you can grab it easier. Yeah, it's pretty neat. There's tons of little nods to the show. And
are you playing with the earbuds in?
I was not for this one, only because I think I started with earbuds in, and then I realized I need way more room because I actually had it set up right here. And if you notice, like I have like a lot of shit around right here, like swords and whatnot.
That's not ideal.
No,
sharp objects.
Like I'm sitting here with this thing on my head and I can't see, and I'm swinging my arms around and just smashing my printer, knocking over amiibos, hitting swords off the wall. It was dangerous. So I spun it around and pointed it over there, and other side of the room has a lot more room for that kind of shenanigans. But I did whack my hand on the ceiling pretty good. I was trying to reach up high for something up on a shelf. And when you're in that thing, I mean, you're in it. Like you forget that there's a world around you. And I just like jumped and reached for the ceiling to try to grab something and just smashed my finger on the ceiling like hard.
Tyler, I'm going to both advise that you play Super Hot in VR and also advise that you never play Super Hot in VR, because that's the poster child for me for like I've punched the exercise machine a couple of times.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna get this bastard and just shit.
Well, there's a little bit of moving around you got to do,
It's good that the ends of those things, the lights are just like real soft, because I could have done some damage around here, but luckily did not. There is a moment. I don't want to spoil things, but there's a moment where you go into the bathroom. You teleport. You use the portal to get to the bathroom. And Jerry shows up on the other side of the door. Like you don't see him, but you hear him, and he won't go away. Like it's the most Jerry thing to ever happen. It's so good. And at one point, I'm like, he's going to start crying any minute now. And sure shit, was not disappointed. Like they get the actual voice actors for everything, and it's very, very
that
good.
makes a big difference.
Yep. So highly recommend it. Check out Virtual Reality if you have one of these things, because it's awesome. a lot of fun. And it was like 2 hours. When I took the headset off, I was like really out of, like, I felt ill.
Oh, did you do it all in one sitting?
Yeah. I just got stuck in it, man. I was just in it. And,
usually about 45 minutes is my cutoff, where it's just like, I'm probably not going to feel well if I don't stop.
I texted you guys, like, I literally went and sat on my couch, and I was just like, I don't feel good. I think I was in there too long. And, yeah. Took some time to get back into actual reality. There you go. That's virtual reality. Played some Hollow Knight. I already talked about that. I don't have gameplay of it, but I've been playing Paladins on my Switch too. That's pretty cool. It's fun to have just like a, that style of game. Just go in and do a match real quick, fight some people, get some of that Heroes style gameplay back in my life. Because
shooting people on the toilet.
I've been missing it. That's not the right game. That's Realm Wars. Paladins is the one I've been. Yeah. It's just a solid game. I don't know. I'm not just saying that because my brother-in-law works on it, full disclosure. And he was on the show last week. You should check that out. Episode 81. There's a little plug. But yeah, it's fun. Like, it mixes kind of what I like about Overwatch with what I liked about Heroes, and I don't know, it's just a good little game to pass the time. And having a lot of fun with it. The only thing I could say negative is it doesn't seem the console versions are paired up with PC, because they have this new character that's in the game on the PC version, and this like whole event around it, and that isn't available on the Switch yet. So I've been reading on the forums and stuff that it's coming, that it's supposed to be like this week or next week. But yeah, that was not super great that there isn't parity there. But I know,
so it's behind in content a little bit then. A
little bit, yeah, by at least a week or two, I think.
I imagine for where you are, you don't need more new characters right now.
No, it's not something that I'm missing. I just know that there was this new character that I don't have on the PC version. That's the other thing. The PC account and the Switch account are not tied together. So I don't know if that's
weird.
I think there's a way for people to do that on the Xbox and the PlayStation, I want to say. But the Switch version isn't fully out yet, so I think that's why maybe that isn't available yet. I'm not 100% sure. So if anyone knows, email the show, mail at questlogcast.com. Let me know if you have the hookup there. But yeah. So I got the full battle pass, so I'll have all the characters, at least on the Switch version. And all the future ones too. So
nice.
Pretty cool. And lastly, man, this little game here called God of War, turns out that's pretty good.
It's the most Tyler game ever.
It's the Tylerest game ever. Yeah, it is. It's so goddamn good. I can't find anything that I don't like about it. The only thing I don't like about it is that I don't have more hours in the day to be playing it. That's been the only downside so far. It's got what I like about Hollow Knight going on here, where you're getting new abilities and going back to places you've already been and kind of revisiting them and unlocking new areas. It's a huge world to explore. The combat is super challenging. Like, there's been fights that aren't even boss fights that have taken me, 8-9 times to try, and then when I finally get it, it feels really, really good. And the story is just awesome. Like, the thing that was always cool about God of War games in the past was the sense of scale. Like, things just felt massive and huge and epic, and that isn't any different here. Like, you're doing some really, really cool shit with all these Norse gods and all this Norse mythology and stuff. Seeing some really huge giants and worms and all kinds of cool stuff. Dragons. Fought a dragon today. It was a really cool fight. Like, you eventually end up in this thing's mouth, Kratos is holding its jaws up and just slamming his axe into this thing's tongue. Like,
seems like a classic God of War moment.
Yeah, for sure. Only this time it's flying through the air while this is happening, and then it comes crashing to the ground. He's riding the thing. It's very cool. Atreus is awesome. I thought I was gonna hate having a freaking kid following me around. I usually hate any games where I have a follower or a companion. Like I never use those in Skyrim, like the followers that you can get, and I
always leave mine behind.
I'm like, nope,
it's your story.
I'm a lone wolf. I don't need you here. Like, I don't care if you want to carry my shit. Just stay out of my way. And Kratos is kind of that guy too. So it's funny that this kid is here, but Atreus is awesome. Like, he adds so much flavor and like depth to the whole story. He's great. I think I read an article that was like how to make a believable kid, and it was focused on Atreus. Like,
it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not. They usually either come off like super annoying or not so much like a kid. Like, they just kind of put a regular person in a kid body. They did their research. Like, he seems like a 10-year-old boy for sure. I don't know.
Yeah, those little moments where he like walks away muttering like, "You don't know anything."
Yeah,
it's like, yep, nailed it.
Yeah, and the like, there's a part in, I think it's Alfheim, where he just turns into a little shit. Like, he gets just real self-righteous and mad at Kratos for something that happens and doesn't give him a chance to explain it or anything.
I think that's when he leans into the column.
Yes.
Of light.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's like a thing that, I mean,
there's a good
spoilers
moment
or whatever, but yeah, there's a misunderstanding, and like, all of his comments just are like, "We've already been here, Dad. We already went in here. Don't get lost. Don't go down that hallway because you might not come back." Like, he gets real shitty about it. You can tell Kratos is just like, boy, silence. He's getting real fed up with that shit.
Oh, you're talking to me. You must need me to translate something for you. Is that it?
Yeah. There's a part where he says something like that. He's like, the only time you ever talk to me is when you need something. And Kratos is like, did you have something to say? He's like, the only time you ever talk to me is when you need something. Like, he just yells it back at him. Okay, all right. Well, man's got something to say. And they do the opposite of that too. Like, when he's in danger, I find myself like, oh shit, like I gotta help that kid. I saw one of the bosses like just going after him, and I was like, pop Spartan Rage, which is like your super move. You become, Hulkified and just charge in there. Yep. I was like, nope, you're not gonna hurt that kid. It's pretty cool. But yeah, man, I love it. It's definitely living up to all the hype. I can say that with confidence.
I'm glad to hear it, because the expectations probably could not have been higher for you.
Yep. I was
like, it's your thing, and everyone else says it's 10 out of 10.
Right. Yeah, and everyone who had played it on this show was like, Tyler, you need to play this game. You need to play this game. Now that's all I heard for 3 weeks. So yes, can confidently say that this lives up to expectations and more. I'm still surprised by how much there is to do in this game. Like, it's enormous. So worried that I'm not going to finish it in time. I have to finish this before Craig comes back from vacation. So I'm trying to get that time in. But yeah. That's what we've been playing this week, man. I think that done sums it up. So that must mean it's time for some news. Hey, it's the news, everybody. Get your news here.
News here.
News here. Get your news here. Have you heard of a game called Life is Strange? I have. And
never heard of it.
The sequel is coming in September. How do you feel about that, Brian?
I'm there. Episode 1. I'd like to tell myself that I'll just wait and play it all when it's all out, but
Don't think so.
I don't think so. And the little bridge game comes out like Monday.
Yeah, 20 or
They said
yeah,
it was
Monday,
going to be the
25th.
26th, and I think they bumped it back a day. Yeah.
Huh, cool.
The Awesome Adventures of Captain
Underpants.
Awesome Pants. Yep.
Awesome Pants. There it is. That's good. And that's gonna be free, right? That's the free one we talked about.
Yep, I think it's just going to be one episode. And they said some of the decisions you make will carry over into Life is Strange 2.
Oh, really?
I dig that.
So that's cool.
Huh.
Well, that's very cool. Yeah, it's been what 3 years now since Life is Strange first came out.
The very beginning of that sounds right. The very beginning of this podcast was us foolishly playing through Life is Strange for like 4 episodes, and it was great.
Yeah, it was great. I liked that game quite a bit. So yeah, I'm in. I'm down for some Life is Strange 2 for sure. And that's, I don't know, it seems like it's pretty quick for me. We've only been, what was 2017 when that all happened? So it's only been a year since I played it. Me, I think. 2016.
2016, yeah, like October.
It was late 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I haven't had to wait as long as some people. So definitely in for that.
And it's going to be not Chloe and not
right, not Max.
Yeah, new characters, which is good.
Yeah, I think revisiting those characters might be a mistake, especially after the way that game ended. You're supposed to just kind of
spoilers.
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying you're supposed to be able to fill that in. You know, you're supposed to kind of be able to fill it in yourself.
Right.
And I think coming back and being like, well, here's what actually happened, kind of, I don't know, cheapens that. So, yeah, I'm good with that. Next we got a surprising ad from Microsoft and Nintendo. Almost said Sony.
Nintendo.
Definitely not involved in this one. So yeah, kind of neat. Minecraft is available on Xbox One and Nintendo Switch, and these two companies are showing off the crossplay between the two.
Yep, and just to be certain, it's available on the PlayStation 4 as well.
It is available on there. You just can't play together with anybody on other consoles.
Yep. Sony's looking worse and worse with each passing week, and the other companies are right to take their shots.
Yeah, I mean,
my understanding is that they don't want people buying stuff on other platforms and then playing it on the PlayStation. You know, like don't buy your cosmetics in Fortnite over on the PC and then, you know, walk over to your PlayStation and play with paid stuff that you didn't pay us for.
Yeah, that's a very it's a very Apple thing.
Yeah,
seems like it's not very, you know, it's not unheard of. Apple does a lot of that same kind of shit, but not quite, because I mean, their thing is really just anything that you buy through our version of it, we get a cut of.
Right.
I'm sure
that was the holdup for the Steam Link.
Yeah.
That was the holdup for the Steam Link, because they didn't want you to, you know, use an app on your Apple phone and then buy something and have them not be involved in any way.
Right. This seems a little bit different than that, though, because, I mean, there's already, you know, it's not like you can't use Hearthstone cards that you bought on PC in the Hearthstone app for phone, you know. So Sony seems to be taking this an extra step.
Yeah. So. I think the goodwill that they're losing isn't worth isn't worth the money that they're, quote, saving.
Yeah. I mean,
it just seems like the wrong thing to do when your console was the biggest thing for the last few years.
Yeah, it seems petty.
Yeah.
It seems petty, and it's also like you said, Brian, like they've been doing nothing but banking goodwill for the last, I don't even know how long, because they just doubled down on, hey, we got the games. Check out these cool games. But they've been tapping that well out. Like this past E3 didn't really show us much new stuff from them. They've been kind of banging the same drums that they were last E3 with like Spider-Man and Trying to think of some of the other exclusives that are coming out. People are stoked for.
Yeah, Last of Us.
Last of Us 2, yep.
Well, Sony's got their own events that they do every year too, kind of like Nintendo does. Like,
right.
you know, Microsoft doesn't do that I know of. So this is kind of Microsoft's big, like, hey, we're gonna do our big push now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like people have said, like, hey, well, if you were on top, you wouldn't have to do this stuff either. And it's like, yeah, but it starts to feel like this isn't about who's on top and just something that's good for consumers and good for gaming in general.
Yeah.
The stuff all runs off the same network infrastructure, and you have the same games. Like, just let people play together. Who cares where they got it? That's my philosophy anyway. Man. Hey, speaking of things that are not exactly goodwill, Bethesda's done suing somebody. They seem to be good at that. They seem to be real good at that. This week they've got Warner Brothers in their crosshairs for using Fallout Shelter code in the Westworld game. So it looks like Bethesda worked with a developer called Behavior Interactive to create the Fallout Shelter mobile game. And those guys turned around and took that same code and just reskinned stuff and used that to make the Westworld game for Warner Brothers. So I guess the way that it got leaked or found out was that bugs that were in early versions of Fallout Shelter are in the Westworld game. So
boy, they couldn't even fix those.
Yeah.
There's a Bethesda bug joke in there somewhere.
Yeah. Count on Bethesda to be the one to find the bugs. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So. Hey, that's our bug.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not sure how that's gonna look for Warner Brothers, but
I'm not sure I see what the big deal is. I mean, they were paid to make a game, so they did. They were paid by someone else to make a game, so they did.
Well, I don't know what their contract looks like, but I imagine there's something in there about not doing that. I mean,
yeah.
If Guerrilla Games makes, like Horizon Zero Dawn for Sony and then turns around and reskins it and, renames it for the Xbox.
Yeah, there's something.
I don't think they get to do that.
I mean, there have to be some pretty strict, legal terms in there that says you can't make a game similar to this for the next 5 years.
I think it's more of like the actual same code being used more than just it's similar. Like I have a feeling there's got to be
but
something in there.
That's like the biggest benefit of modern coding though is you can just take code you've already used, copy it, paste it over here, and it works. Like you don't go through and reinvent the wheel.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're gonna find out. if this whatever way this goes, we'll probably set some precedent and see if this is deemed okay or not. And like you said, it would likely come down to what's in the actual contract. If it said, hey, we're supplying you with this, and now this is tied to your intellectual property, and you have the rights to it, and yada yada yada, then they might be in some trouble.
I just don't like telling someone you can't reuse code.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's in the contract that, hey, you can't make a Fallout Shelter type game, sure. But, I mean, even going as far as to say, okay, all the code that you write now belongs to Bethesda, well, there's only so many ways that you can code a program to do something. And if you've done it once, you're going to recreate it the exact same way. It's just the mentality behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about coding to dispute that, so I agree with you.
Yeah, well, stay tuned.
Yeah, find out, I'm sure. Lastly, we got another Games Done Quick coming up. SGDQ 2018 is they've posted their schedule. You can find that over at gamesdonequick.com/schedule.
Starts in 12 hours.
I see a Banjo-Tooie run. Don't Banjo
I'm gonna
Kazooie. Don't do that. Like, there's a soft spot in my heart for some of those.
I know it's our age difference again. All those like mascot, platformers are all lumped together for me. Bubsy and Banjo and
Spyro, and
Spyro,
he's on there too. Spyro the
Crash
Dragon.
Bandicoot, like that's all in the same bucket for me.
I get it. Doom. There's a Doom one. Gotta love me some Doom. What's standing out to you, Luke? What are you looking forward to?
There's not a whole lot standing out, to be honest, for this year. The summer one always seems to be kind of like here's the games that really didn't make AGDQ in the wintertime, so let's throw them into the summer one.
Huh, okay.
I do see Axiom Verge on here.
I was just gonna say, yep. There's your Super Metroid follow-up.
Yep, so that's on there. There's a Super Metroid 100% map run, but it's
Dragon Warrior 3.
It's not the big end one like I really want.
That's confusing. Okay.
Yeah. Thief, the Dark Project. Cuphead.
Yeah, Cuphead. That's going to be a good one.
That should be a goodie.
And you've got your typical Super Mario block. So there'll be a ton of Super Mario stuff. A lot of Mega Man.
Celeste seems like a natural fit for this.
Yeah. Ray. Huh. A lot of cool games. You can see done quick.
It's weird seeing RPGs on here. I don't understand Dragon Warrior 3 being on there. Or Paper Mario. Like, it's weird.
Well, Brian, did you see the last game that they're running?
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
It's a big list.
Final Fantasy VI.
Finale. Oh, Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah. Yeah, they've done 7 before.
Glitchless, any percent.
I think 7 is like a 6-hour run or something.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. So that's something that's like, all right, it's 2 a.m. No one's gonna be watching. We'll play a 6-hour long game.
Well, and be like, there's got to be certain items that are just crazy overpowered or something, because so much of those games is like grinding. It's like, so that's the part that seems a little confusing to me. So I don't know how they get around that. You just walk in and kill Sephiroth at level 7 or whatever.
I've never gone ahead and watched an entire speed run of Final Fantasy VII, to be honest. But I know there's things that they can do as far as like counting the number of steps so they don't get the random battles to make things go quicker, or making sure they get a random battle so that when they go to the next area they don't get one. There's a lot of really crazy stuff they can do. So it's been out for a long time, so it's pretty well. They discovered all the glitches and
optimized,
routed it out. Yeah.
Well, it's a good time to segue over into the discussion topic of the week. We'll do that with a little something called this. It's a topic. It is a topic. And this week's topic is, are you a completionist? When are you done with a game? I think that kind of flows into that pretty well.
Yeah.
I definitely... I'm back and forth, but I definitely lean more on the completionist side, I think, personally.
You do tend to dive in with both feet.
When I find something, when it gets me, I go in all the way. It's the thing I'm having a really hard time with God of War right now, actually. Like...
Yeah.
The game does a great job of saying, hey, go right here. There's a compass and a map marker, and it says just go there. And I'm like, yeah, but right over here, though.
Yeah, you need to burn through it, but you don't want to burn through it.
I kind of can't. Like, there's a really good example of you're having to row your boat between these two giant statues, like Lord of the Rings style, right? They're blocking this way, and they've got oars crossed. You just got to go straight through. I know exactly where I need to go. And I was like, well, but I can dock the boat right next to it, though. What's over there? And I go, and then I got sucked into an hour-long little side mission to get me some dragon scales or whatever that I don't know that I need yet, but I did it.
Yeah.
But you wanted them.
And then I was like, well, I wonder what's on the other side. If I go over there, turns out there's a whole little area over there too. Something called a light elf outpost or something, and
I have that curiosity with those games too. I always want to see what's over there.
Yo.
You know, in an RPG, if there's a town full of random houses, I'm going to go explore every floor, every house, because there might be a sword in some treasure chest in a basement somewhere.
Exactly, yeah. Yep, that guy's a secret necromancer, and he's got a little trapdoor, and I won't know unless I check every bookshelf.
Yep.
Yep, that's me for sure. What about you guys?
I am definitely not a completionist.
No?
I don't care about 100%ing any game at all.
Wow.
I'm there for the experience, and once I go through and beat the end boss, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll do everything to put that off. Like, I can get all the way to the door, and I can just turn right around and go, not yet.
RPGs are a little bit different in that aspect. I'm more like Brian, to where I will want to explore every nook and cranny just to find some sort of secret or get that 2 gold piece in the chest that's in the basement somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, especially if there's achievements involved,
I
won't go after achievements at all. I don't care about that.
I can be guilty of that sometimes. I like having achievements, and the games that I love, I tend to, like, I want to, if not 100%, achievements, get at least half of them. Like, I like to be able to look back at that and be like, yeah, I, did a substantial amount.
Yep.
That's really just a game by game thing. It feels bad when I don't get any or enough achievements in a game that I finished. Like, it shouldn't. I don't know why it does, but like Owlboy, like I finished Owlboy. I have 0 achievements on Owlboy. I look at that and I'm just like, fuck this game. Like, that's not right.
Not a single one, huh?
No, and it shouldn't matter, but
does it have achievements? Like, are there?
Yeah, it's got like 10 achievements, but they're all, get every single one of these things, and I'm not, like, I've lived that life before. I'm not about to go back to that again.
It's not about that life.
I remember the Xbox 360 days.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a couple of games where I got perfect achievement scores. I've got a couple of like 980 out of 1,000.
Yeah, those ones sting.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, what was the one for Half-Life 2 you tried to do? You had to carry something through the entire game.
Oh, I remember what it was. I don't think I finished.
You said you didn't finish it because like you had to put it in the little go-kart and it kept bouncing.
Yeah, that's right. There was some item that you had to carry with you through the whole game, and it just became too much of a hassle at one point.
Was it like a soccer ball or something?
Something like that.
Oh,
I did get the
like that.
Yeah, like when achievements are done well, they can make you play a game in a different way that you wouldn't have thought to even try.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's an achievement in Half-Life 2 that was finishing one of the chapters using only a single bullet. Mm-hmm. And I got that one because like there's a lock you have to shoot off somewhere. But apart from that, it's all melee.
You know what game did that shit really, really well? It was GoldenEye 007 for the N64. The whole cheat system, like you unlocked cheats in game, but it was from doing stuff like that. So it was, like beat the facility level in under 2 minutes. And it was like, I remember playing until my hands bled to get that down, because on the N64, in order to strafe, you had to use the C buttons.
God,
it was so bad. And I remember like having it down to like, if I round this corner, I got to skip all these guys. If I round this corner, I don't hit that door within like 35 seconds or whatever, and then I just need to restart because I won't finish in time. It was nuts.
Tyler Everett, speedrunner.
It was, yeah. I can't remember how old I was, but I remember putting hours into that and finally getting that achievement. That was one of the big ones. It was like invulnerability or invisibility or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, I wound up unlocking all of the cheat codes for that game. It was all stuff like that. It was pretty cool. Gosh, remember cheat codes, you guys?
Uh-huh.
I think we talked about that before on the show, but like I do kind of miss that. I kind of miss when, big head mode was a thing, or paintball mode, or
secrets,
God mode, or any of that kind of stuff. Like,
right.
it was
Someone
just
at the
a cool
bus
thing.
stop telling you, how to do this, and it's like that seems
Yeah.
like bullshit. But I'm gonna try it. But
Yep.
The cheats for Grand Theft Auto were always the best.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I want every single awesome weapon in the game.
It did kind of keep me from playing the game like normal for a very long
Oh, yeah.
time, though.
I never finished GTA 3. That was how we played the game. Was we just take turns putting in the all weapons cheats and just like, okay, how long can you live?
Exactly.
There was a series of cheats and stuff that you could lock, and it would basically allow you to turn the tank into a flying machine. You could use the, I can't remember what it was. I think you'd spin the turret around on it backwards so the gun was pointing
And
behind
shoot
you,
to propel you.
and then shoot to propel yourself, and you could just like fly around with that thing. It was pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, that's when we were playing Sea of Thieves, there's an achievement for getting 20 chests. I remember every time we started playing, Kring would be like, hey, we could try to get that chest achievement. And Luke and I'd be like, why do you care about that? It's like, it doesn't do anything.
Just to see if you can.
His response was just like, it's just a cool thing to have. I thought that was neat.
No, we've got like a few grand on here. The outpost is right here. Like, let's just turn in.
Yeah.
Like the games that do it right, I see those as challenges where it's just like, I wonder if I could do that. I'll bet I could.
Yeah, there's some really good ones in that game too. Like there's one for firing yourself out of a cannon onto the
deck of another boat.
There's one for like doing weird shit, like throwing puke from a bucket into someone's face during a sword fight. Like real specific things like that. But the one that Kring wanted was like you had to have 20 chests in your possession. And the way we got it was sinking another boat one night that had a bunch of chests on board.
Yeah,
and
that was the best way to do it.
That was like, yeah, we all unlocked it at the same time. It was just like,
right.
Yes.
Find someone else who's trying to get this achievement.
Yep.
If there was a way that we were going to get that achievement, that's how it was going to be done, by sinking someone who was doing it.
Yep. It was real good. Very satisfying. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 82. You can find our show at questlogcast.com every week. Usually goes up on Sundays or Mondays, so check it out there. You can email the show if you got a topic you want us to discuss, or you just want to tell us what your favorite cereal is, or if you want to just anything. Send that over to mail@questlogcast.com. Big thank you to Visager for letting us use the music from Songs from an Unmade
World.
Songs from an Unmade World. Thank you, Brian. I always forget. You can find more of Visager's awesome music at visager.bandcamp.com. That's going to do it for me. Everybody, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a fantastic week.
Have a good one.
Take care.